Despite what some people might think, there are many examples of the perfect film scene in my opinion. On this show, we take a look at, analyze, and marvel the genius of all types of filmmakers and their art. This is The Perfect Scene. Welcome to The Perfect Scene. Since this is the first episode, I have a few things to say before we jump into the first scene. I was thinking about what the best movie scene ever was, and I couldn't decide because there were just too many options. So I then decided that there isn't just one that is the best. They are all perfect in their own setting and narrative. For example, two perfect scenes that everyone knows are when King Kong is climbing up the tower and fighting airplanes, and the other is from The Wizard of Oz, where Dorothy enters Oz for the first time, and the film goes from black and white to Technicolor. Both scenes are perfect, but you can't really say that one is objectively better than the other. Within their own unique narrative, they make sense and are outstanding. You can, of course, personally like one more than the other, however, there is no true way to say one is better because they are different. With all of that out of the way, let's take a look at our first scene. Now, if you know me, I love me some Paul Thomas Anderson films. I think that he has at least one perfect scene in every one of his films, but I thought today we'd discuss his first perfect scene from his first feature film, Hard Eight, aka Sydney. We begin outside a diner and we see a man sitting on the ground. We see a truck pass in front of him, maybe to signal to the audience that this man is at a transitional point in his life. I don't know. Coattails enter the foreground as the camera begins to dolly in. We then get this.
Hey,
What?
you want a cup of coffee? You want a cigarette?
Quick and to the point dialogue about coffee and cigarettes, referencing PTA's short film, Cigarettes and Coffee. We jump inside the diner and listen to a conversation between John and Sydney. They discuss gambling, John's inability to pay for his mother's funeral, and the hypothetical question of what John would do with $50 that Sydney would provide. Sydney then turns the hypothetical inquiry into a real proposition, and this happens.
I'll tell you what. You come with me back to Vegas. I'll loan you $50. I'll show you what you did wrong.
The camera swerves to the side. We, the audience, are now seeing Sydney differently, both physically and receptively. We are still a little skeptical of him, like John, but still interested. After this slightly flashy camera move, the standard yet captivating static shot reverse shot changes into a very subtle low angle shot of Sydney, telling us now that Sydney is a bit higher, a bit smarter than John. The shot reverse shot now has a slow push in added as well to say that the story is really starting to roll along with the two men's relationship. The two men leave together after a goofy threat from John.
I'll fuck you up if you fuck with me. I know 3 types of karate, okay? Jiu-jitsu, aikido, and regular karate.
And a promise for Sydney to teach John something. John exits the frame last after being alone for one last time. The camera pushes into the 2 coffee cups sitting together, with an ashtray sitting in the middle, perhaps foreshadowing a third character to enter down the line. But who knows if any of what I said was right. That's up for you to decide if you think this was a perfect scene. Also, the scene always slightly irks me because they don't order eggs, and diners, usually have eggs. They're like good eggs, but I mean, it depends on the diner, but yeah.